Welcome to CEO IntroNet. I'm your host, Patty Owens. We have a great topic today, and it is the critical, essential, and utterly important role of nonprofits in our ecosystem and how nonprofits keep all of us better in our communities. We're going to meet leaders of two nonprofits who will share their perspectives. Let's meet them.
Hi, I'm Debra Kahn, and I'm the Executive Director of Delaware Valley Grantmakers. And while our office is located in Philadelphia, we represent and have membership from philanthropies around the greater Philadelphia region.
I'm Andrew Swinney, President of the Philadelphia Foundation, which is a community foundation serving the five-county region. Our role in life is to manage charitable funds established by other people, be good stewards of that money, and give it away effectively.
So it's great to have both of you because you are not attached to a specific cause, but you in fact look across the whole nonprofit spectrum and you're able to see the best practices and see the stakeholder groups that are part of many nonprofits. Mm-hmm. So, you know, in the collective ecosystem, there are for-profits, there are nonprofits, there are government entities. And nonprofits typically become invisible but critical glue to making everything else function. Why is it that nonprofits are so invisible sometimes in that fragile and important ecosystem? What do you think, Andrew?
Well, I think that part of it is because they are considered charities. They were started as charities. The charitable tax deduction that is now available makes them, the donors feel good. And the challenge is that they've become the very infrastructure of a community. You know, if one looks at the community as being a three-legged stool, you have government, you have the corporate side, and then you have the nonprofit sector, and we still treat them as charities, not as the infrastructure that makes the quality of life good for everybody.
So, Debbie, join the conversation here. So is that true? Do you think we treat them as charities, and is that pejorative, or is it a status, a high status?
Well, let me just say, I'm not sure that nonprofits are so invisible as they are misunderstood, maybe, or not understood well enough, and certainly probably underappreciated. In so many instances, they actually provide tremendous economic and social value. I mean, they fuel our economy. I mean, all you have to do is walk up and down the streets of certainly our central city, Philadelphia, but any community around our region, and what do we see? We see theaters, we see organizations that are either providing health care, you know, certainly schools, education, universities, and so many of these things really fuel our economy. And so and not to mention providing essential services. But they're complicated organizations. I mean, they are nonprofit, and there's a whole discussion within the community, you know, should we define them as a negative, as a nonprofit, as opposed to what, you know, they really do, and a positive. So, you know, I think we need to look at the different sectors, and there are different sizes, but they're also businesses, you know, but they have a different economic model in how they operate, and that's where the charity discussion comes in, because while they're fueled by, I mean, there's public money, there's private money, typically in a blend, so they're complicated, and they need to be better understood.
I think that's right. So what would have to happen in order for them to be better understood and to remove some of that complexity?
Well, I think first we should change the name.
So what would you propose?
You know, if we're in a capitalist democracy where for-profit is good, non-profit is bad, then we should be calling them community benefit organizations.
Oh, I like that.
Because they are benefiting the community. I mean, whether it's education, healthcare, care of the young, care of the old, as Debbie said, they cover the full gamut of the quality of life for everybody in the community, and as such, they should be considered as benefits to, not nonprofits.
I love that thought. Have there been conversations in the community recently that would suggest language that would be more positive and more proactive? What other possibilities have emerged in addition to community benefit organizations?
Variations on that theme. I think social benefit, you know, other things. I mean, there are discussions. I'm not sure, you know, it's happening en masse tomorrow, but there are some organizations, you know.
Well, you know, it's interesting because in the five-county region there are over 7,000 active nonprofits. Now, grant you, University of Pennsylvania is a big one, but a lot of them are very small, and in being small, they're serving a particular niche in a neighborhood or in a particular area. And so their exposure is not to the whole community, but to that particular community that they're serving. And I think that tends to make it more complicated, because unless I'm interested in that particular neighborhood or that particular cause, I don't know about it.
So does that fragmentation sometimes play against the power and influence that is collectively executed in the nonprofit, in the community benefit organization world?
It does, because I think it contributes in part, and we can all understand why it happened, but it does contribute to the confusion and the lack of understanding, particularly when organizations have seemingly similar missions, and maybe even similar offerings. So one of the trends, certainly, and themes, if you will, currently is with philanthropy and nonprofits trying to work together to educate one another about how the partnerships can occur and how the sort of the best of each maybe could be put together so that the service level increases, the efficiency when it can, and creating a little more clarity within that social marketplace, and there have been some good examples, and there continue to be, about how that can happen.
It feels as though there's a tailwind right now with this next generation emerging in a more powerful way within the business community and becoming more entrepreneurial and philanthropic. Clearly, this generation is more focused on how to integrate their lives, their business lives, and their philanthropic lives. So it feels as though the moment has come. Are you optimistic that the next 10 years will bring more prestige and power for community benefit organizations?
If they get involved in a community benefit organization on the board or whatever, and they bring their business practices to bear on that organization, then the continuum of services that could improve the way they do business would greatly benefit the sector.
Well, there's a challenge for you. If you're out there and you have nothing better to do, get involved and help make this sea change a possibility. I want to thank our guests for joining us. I'm Patty Owens. Have a great day.